Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day has been great. Mine has. And today we got a pretty cool video. We're going to be talking about XQC and the GOATs. Their run throughout Contenders Trial so far hasn't been the best. It's been interesting though. So we're going to talk about that and take a look. Then we're going to be talking about the Dallas Fuel and Stage 4 playoffs. So yesterday we covered the overall playoffs. Today we're going to focus more on just Stage 4 and who the best teams in this stage are so far. So if this sounds like an interesting video to you guys, be sure to drop a like on it, subscribe to my channel for daily Overwatch and Overwatch League content. As well as that, enter the giveaway guys. All you have to do is click the gleam.io link down below and you can enter in for a chance to win an Overwatch League jersey of your choice. I think there's a week and a half left to enter, so you still have some time. Don't be lazy, it's super easy and free. Click that link, and now let's go ahead and hop into it. So starting off with XQC and the GOATs. So yesterday, they played their first Contenders Trials match against Team Karasuno, which is a fairly strong team, and I've heard they are one of the best in all of Trials. Their roster is Far, Boostio, Guru, DPS, Hidan, and Jur. Jur's from Renegades. Hidan, he used to play on Luminosity back in the day. DPS is a Korean player. He was the main tank, I believe, for Florida Mayhem Academy in the first season of Contenders. So they have a pretty strong roster. Boostio is also a rising talent. I've seen some of his gameplay. He's pretty good. So going into this match, the GOATs, they were still favored, but out of all of the Trials teams, Karasuno was one that people would consider potentially able to beat the GOATs. And it was definitely a very close series. It went back and forth the entire time. We ended up going to the 5th map. Each team picked up 2 maps. Unfortunately, though, for the GOATs, they did have a couple DCs. Their support player, Tensa. One time it didn't really matter, but the second DC was at a very unfortunate time, and that most likely cost them Junkertown, which led them into the 5th map on Nepal, which they did end up losing. So the GOATs, after their first match, are 2 and 3 overall in maps, so -1. If you guys don't know the format of Contenders Trials, it basically works off of a map system. So every single team will play each other once, and after every team is played, the top 4 teams with the most map wins will move on. So technically, like, losing or winning a set means nothing. It just matters how many maps you won by. So if you get a 4-0, that's huge because you go up +4 maps. If you lose 0-4, then you go -4. So losing 2-3 isn't the worst. They were -1 after this match. And some things to point out from it, XQC, he seemed a little rusty. Definitely slow to start off. He did start to get into the groove though once we got to around the 4th, 5th map. Just overall, though, as a team, they weren't working together very well. The communication was very split. XQC was off calling his targets, and then the other players were calling their own targets. You could just tell there is no teamwork, which is somewhat expected when they do lose their main tank right at the start of Contenders Trials. It was still a surprise seeing them lose a match, though. I expect them to win almost every single game. But again, it is Karasuno, who was a decent team. So that was the match yesterday. There was another match today where they faced off against Grizzlies Esports, who actually lost yesterday in their first match against Second Wind. So Grizzlies Esports not looking like one of the best teams. Their roster is Zapri, Spirit, Graceful, Pag, Evoke, and Ding. And this match was very similar to the one yesterday, back and forth the entire time. Fortunately, there was no DCs for GOATs. XQC did play much better in this match though. I really would say he had to shake off a lot of rust from yesterday. Today, he was playing like a beast. He had huge shatter plays on King's Row. I'm going to go ahead and play those 2 clips so you guys can check them out.
3, 2, 1, go now. Run!
Run. Really.
I'm on the run still. I'm on
Run.
Bridget low!
Forget. Healing.
How's your run? Turn it up. You can turn it back.
Nice.
Run slow. Get the run. The fucking run! Who's showing now? What's next? What did it have?
I'm gonna try to eat a grab.
Shadow 14. Yo, Sid, give me a fucking stun here. Give me a stun.
Yeah. Call applied.
Yeah, left side, come out left.
He's going left side.
Right,
Oh, my bad.
9 for Shadow. I don't even have it.
Okay.
98.
I'm challenging the Diva up top.
I'm dead.
No.
It's good. Oh boy.
Who won?
Diva one up top left.
Nice. Targets.
Big!
Stay hurt. Who won?
Yes!
Baby dead. Let's fucking go. Nasty.
Let's fucking go, boys! My ults were dog shit the entire fight!
Yeah, absolutely insane. I do want to point out though, it's crazy how fast Reinhardt charges shatters in this meta. When you run these tanks and just walk into each other, it's just free fire strikes through 4 people, free swings through 4 people. You're going to charge up so quickly. But just because you're charging up quickly doesn't mean it's easy to hit shatters. There's a lot of things that can block it. There's Zarya bubbles, Bridget shield, the Rhine shield, and you'll see a lot of Rhines when they do get that fast shatter, they just want to blow it right away, which XQC did blow it right away, but he used it in a very good spot. He was calculated with it, and after they won this map, they tied the series up 1-1, went back and forth all the way to the 5th map again, Nepal. But unfortunately for the GOATs, they lost again on the 5th map. Similar to yesterday, there was a lack of teamwork, lack of communication. You could just tell like XQC really is kind of focused on doing his own thing, and then the DPS players are kind of diving their own thing as well. So it's just like this rift in the middle of their tank line and their DPS line, and that is definitely something you can't have. Then they're just overall lacking guidance. They don't have somebody who just every single fight calls a play or plan. There were so many times, specifically on Nepal, XQC would just walk out in the open and take so much poke because he didn't know if they were supposed to go left side, right side, main. Just overall, the team together had no objective. Everybody was just going out from different angles. They weren't communicating. They need somebody from the start to be like, all right, we're all going left, group up. We're going to look for a dive in the back, XQC. Make sure you don't peek and take any poke. Sit, go in the back lane, let us know when Zenyatta's out of position. Then you and XQC can collapse on them together. That's what every single successful team has. A shot caller, somebody to lead the team so everyone is not off going and doing their own stuff. When you're facing against a team that focuses and works together, you cannot do your own things because you'll get picked off, they'll kill you, and that is one of the biggest problems right now with the GOATs. They need guidance, they need leadership, they need teamwork, they need communication. The mechanical skill is there for them. And talking about mechanical skill, this Kaluj guy on their team is absolutely insane. So far from every game I've seen them play, he is always getting kills, always on top of everything. Like in that first match alone, he hit 5 or 6 double and triple kill diva bombs that were just absolutely clutch and helped his team come back, which is amazing. But there is a huge problem with Kaluj right now, and it's very noticeable watching the stream. He is extremely negative. Like, his attitude is not good. Every time they lose a fight, every time something goes bad, even when they win but something goes bad, the guy has something to complain about or some smart remark to say. And you absolutely cannot do that. Regardless if you're carrying and doing everything and you're still losing, you can't say anything because it will bring your teammates down, it'll bring the morale down, and they will all play worse. He needs to learn this as soon as possible. You can tell he doesn't understand that when he does these things, it is hurting his own chances at winning. You don't need to constantly sigh and grunt on your microphone. Those things affect your teammates. So, Kaluj, if you're watching this somehow, please work on the attitude, man. Your team will do much better if you're positive like XQC has been. It helps a lot. Just some attitude issues and focusing on teamwork and communication. Once they get teamwork and communication down, I expect them to start winning more matches, but they're 0-2, which doesn't matter. They're -2 on maps because they lost 2-3 in both sets, which probably won't be good enough to qualify because Grizzlies did lose a second win. So that's 3 teams already that the GOATs are behind. Karasuno, second win, and Grizzlies Esports, as well as last night's leftovers now who won one of their matches, and Mirage Esports. So it's not looking the best for the GOATs right now. They are going to have to pull some wins out. They have 6 more matches though, so there is time. That's going to be it for XQC and the GOATs. So let me know down below if you guys want me to keep updating you on XQC and the GOATs run throughout Contenders Trials. I figured a lot of people care about it, so that's why we're covering it. And now let's go ahead and hop into Stage 4, Dallas Fuel. What's going on? Alright, so looking at the standings, as you guys can see, number 1, Los Angeles Valiant. I did say after they beat New York Excelsior, they'll probably go 10-0. And looking at their schedule next week, they have the Shock and the Dallas Fuel, which are definitely 2 winnable games for them considering who they've already beat this stage. I'd say they have a good chance of going 10-0. So they've locked up the number 1 seed more than likely. Then we have the Los Angeles Gladiators sitting at 7-1. That's actually really awesome. The Los Angeles teams proving to be dominant in Stage 4 so far. They're looking to finish out the stage strong, get that number 2 seed. And they're looking at a match against Shanghai Dragons this week and then Seoul Dynasty. So this one will be interesting, at least for Seoul Dynasty. It'll prove if they're going to make it or not. If they lose this one, Seoul is out. Then looking at New York Excelsior, they're sitting at 6-2. and they're potentially in danger of not making it if they somehow lose to Boston Uprising and lose to the Houston Outlaws, because if Houston beats them, that puts them at 6-4 or better, so there's a chance they'll be above them. If Dallas wins a match, they'll be 6-4. Philly wins a match, they'll be 6-4. So there is a chance New York could drop out if they somehow slack off for the rest of the stage. I doubt that though. Moving on then, we do have the Dallas Fuel currently sitting at 5-3. +5 in maps, only 1 ahead of Philly and 2 ahead of Houston. So looking at the Dallas Fuel schedule, they have Seoul Dynasty coming up, and they have the Los Angeles Valiant. So that's a kind of tough schedule. Sure, Seoul Dynasty's looking somewhat weak, but there still is always that chance that Seoul could win this. I'd say it's maybe a 60-40, 50-50 type game. Then looking at their last match, as I said, Los Angeles Valiant, that's going to be a tough one for them to win. LA Valiant's looking to go 10-0. They've been on a tear all stage long, and I can't see Dallas Fuel winning this match. I can see them winning the Seoul match, so they're possibly going to go 6-3 or 5-5. 5-5 will not be good enough to make it because Philly or Houston, if we look at their schedules, one of them is going to win. One of them will get their 6th map because they play each other. So Dallas Fuel, they must win one of their matches if they want to make it. If they lose both, they are 100% not going to make it. If they can pick up that win over Seoul and then Philly loses to one of the teams and Houston loses to one of the teams, neither of them go 2-0, then Dallas will move on. It is, though, pretty unlikely that the Outlaws or the Fusion will go 2-0 because if Houston beats Philly, they have to go through New York. If Philly beats Houston, they have to go through London. So it's possible for Philly. I think it's easier for them than it would be for Houston, but it's still going to be very close. You do never know, though. Dallas Fuel could pull out a win against LA Valiant. It's possible. If Taimu has one of those games, Mickey really shows up, and Siegel's on point, it's possible. So I wouldn't 100% count them out against the LA Valiant. I do think out of the 3 teams, Houston, Philly, and Dallas, that Dallas does have the best chance. I think Seoul Dynasty is one of the weaker teams out of all of these guys. Seoul is fighting for their playoff life, though, so you never know. They could really come out and finally show up, but usually they do choke when their life is on the line, so that's another reason to favor Dallas. Looking at the San Francisco Shock, though, there is actually a small chance they can make it. If they go 2-0 here, they're taking on LA Valiant, and they're taking on Shanghai. So they'll definitely beat Shanghai. They can possibly beat the Valiant. That'll be tough for them. But if they do, they're looking at a 6-4 record as well, and they could be tied with either Dallas Fuel, Philly, or Houston, whoever wins. And they do have a map advantage so far over Philly and Houston. So San Francisco could creep in there and take the spot away from all of these teams. It's a tight race, and LA Valiant's really playing spoil here for Dallas Fuel and San Francisco Shock. But that's pretty much what the race comes down to. Who can beat each other in this last week? It's going to be super intense. The stage finals will be awesome, and the overall playoffs are going to be amazing. I know I'm absolutely stoked. What about you guys? Let me know down below in the comments. Who do you want to see make it? Do you want to see Dallas Fuel? Or would you rather see somebody like San Francisco, Houston, or Philly? Personally, I'd like to see San Francisco or Dallas Fuel. It'd be awesome to get some new blood into the playoffs. And there are also just 2 teams during like stages 1 and 2 that were not very good at all. Probably 2 of the worst teams. And now they're competing for a top 4 spot. Huge turnarounds for both of these teams. And I can't wait to see them in season 2. They're going to definitely be playoff contenders come next year. But that's going to be it for me, guys. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. Be sure to drop a like on it. Subscribe to my channel if you want more daily Overwatch League content. I upload every single day. Enter that giveaway. Also, I had a question for you guys. So I've been playing a lot of Realm Royale lately. It's a new battle royale game. It's actually extremely fun and it's free to play. It's honestly, I find it more fun than Fortnite, maybe because there's no building in it. You guys should check it out and let me know if you guys want to see some highlights, because I'm definitely one of the best players in that game and I might be looking to play as a professional. So let me know what you guys think about that down below. And now I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. Peace.